So, but but I ain't.
Because he's not far.
Yeah.
Time out. Hold up. Where you at?
Yeah, man. But I didn't. I haven't took it to that level. We ain't caught each other yet. So when we do catch each other, I do feel like I will speak, but I think it won't be from a place of just hurt and anger.
I get
just
you.
be like, man, Anthony been doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I feel, and I may be wrong about it. Maybe I should, I don't know, man. So
No,
it's still
hey.
steps that I even need help.
Be led, my
be
brother.
led, But I am mature enough. I do like the responsibility. I'm glad to be able to be that person to step in. On the wedding day when me and my wife got married, I told in front of everybody. I told them, I said, I'm stepping in, and I'm here to help guide you, man. And
Yeah.
I want to see you make it, because you're a young black man. You know what I'm saying? So with the hurt you go through, your mother goes through it. So anytime he's going through trouble, school or whatever, she wear it, and he wear what she go through. So I'm the leader of the family, so I got to try my best to, man, make sure we all covered.
Yeah.
I'm the head of the house,
That's real. That's real. And that conversation piece, man, I got burnt with that whole, because I was feeling like you felt, man, I need to go have a conversation with this guy. I need to talk to this dude. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, we just got married. So I'm about to be raising your daughter. I'm about to be around your daughter. So maybe he needs to get to know me. That's just how I'm thinking. Okay, maybe you might want to get to know me so you know who your daughter's around. Make sure I'm not crazy. Make sure I ain't going, And everybody kept saying, no, Morris, he not that type of guy. You dealing with a whole different breed. You dealing with a whole different guy. And I'm like, man, come on now. I'm finna have a conversation with the man. He a man. Put on his pants one leg at a time, just like me. We men. I want to sit you down, and I just want to have a conversation. But, they were right about his character. He just wasn't. He had dealt with so much. He was angry because before I came into the picture, he wanted his family back. So they did this thing for 4 years, and then he just was just doing the dirty, treating her all kinds of ways, and she just was fed up. Most women get fed up after a while, even though they got this child together. So I show up, knight in shining armor, and just being me.
So humble.
And but that just happens to be the same time of him saying, you know what, I want my family back. Let's just make this thing work. And she's like, no, I'm not falling for that again. I'm not doing it again. And he was like, fine then, forget you. So bitter, mad, angry. So now I'm around his daughter. He's thinking about this. Now, So there was one particular time where, he knew about me now. He was like, oh, you got your new boyfriend and everything. Okay, all right, So I know he felt some type of way. So he still saw his daughter every weekend. It was there was no legal action in place. It was just, you could see her every weekend. That was just what it was. And it was one time they were debating about like a time frame. Like, hey, he just moved to Alabama or somewhere. And she was like, well, you still got to come pick her up. He was like, well, this is the length of my drive. So if I'm going to come the length of my drive, I need to keep her longer. And she was like, well, no, she has XYZ going on. You got to stick to the weekend. He was like, no, I want to keep her the whole week. And she was like, no, we can't let. Well, if I come and get her, I'm just going to hold on to her. It's the last thing you want to say to a woman. Last thing you want to say. So now my wife has no other choice but to be like, oh, so if you come get her, ain't no telling when you're going to bring her back. So now she's feeling like,
Get the law involved.
yeah, I don't know what he's capable of doing. Let me get the law involved. So now he has put himself in a position where now he has to be put on child support, and he has to have the visitation. Now he gets every other weekend. Add more fuel to the fire, right? So now he's even more angry. So now his anger proceeds to, because they got to communicate, and that's where that outsider comes in, because now I'm on the outside looking into this drama, and they're on the phone. There's been times where she done been on the phone with him, and they arguing and they going back and forth, and she had to leave the room. I ain't like that, I know y'all got to communicate, but just having my wife run upstairs to have an argument with her baby daddy just makes me feel, yeah. And he is the kind of guy, he'll talk and he'll say things. So then it got to the point where them phone thugs. So he would actually get to a place where he would call my wife out of her name. Ooh. And so I had stayed out of their business. I have stayed out of the whole thing until, because I was like, listen, man, y'all deal with all that stuff, get the court involved, and let them put the child support and the visitation. As long as you honor that, if you don't honor it, police get involved. But now you talking to my wife crazy. You calling her out of her name, and just. Jesus is the love of my life, but you're not gonna just talk to my wife any kind of way. You're just not gonna do it. So I figured I'd step in at this point in time. This is where all the conversation says, I'm gonna have a conversation with a young man. I just want, it's gonna be peaceful. Everybody like, no, Morris, it ain't gonna be peaceful. It's gonna be peaceful. No, Morris, it ain't gonna be peaceful. I'm just gonna have a conversation with the man. Unfortunately, it wasn't face-to-face as I would like it to be. It had to take place through text message. And he said what he said through text message to my wife. I grabbed my wife's phone. This is her husband. How are you doing today? Good. Listen, I can't allow you to continue to speak to my wife like you've been speaking to her. So, therefore, my wife will not be at the drop-offs anymore because you don't know how to talk to her. So now you got to deal with Morris. You got to deal with me now. Mm-hmm. And then he came back with a lot of four-letter words and came back with a lot of this and a lot of that and said, I don't know you. You ain't got no business, talking to me. You ain't got no business talking to me, son. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, I'll see you at the drop-off. I'll see you at the drop-off. He like, I'll see you at the drop-off then. I'm like, this guy.
It would be easier to swallow.
Yeah, than just one body shot.
Than just total denial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me personally, like, go ahead. Well, I said, me personally, like, Ryan, I want him to have a relationship with his father. That's the tough part. It's like a double-edged sword. Like, you want them to have that relationship with their father, because especially as a young man, young woman anyway, but a young man, you know the value of having your father in your life. You with me and my father early on, not really communicating very well. Now that I get older and I have conversations with him, I learn more about myself, things that I wish I knew years ago. Yeah. Just the benefit, even if y'all didn't have that bond, like you still come from him. You know what I'm saying? So you learn these things. So I want him to know who he is. I want him to know where he comes from. But at the same time, though, like you said, it's that desire to want to have your household intact, where this is your household. And like you said, you're in that state of denial where you're like, okay, this is my family. But stuff like they have a different last name. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I got a son in my house, but he don't have my last name, you know. And I don't love him any less, but he takes pride in his last name because it's his daddy's last name. Wow. So it don't matter how much you do or what you do. That's his identity. That's who he is. And I want to be mature about it, and I want him to have a relationship with his father. But then on the flip side of it, you feel that outsider feeling because he has that and he esteems that relationship higher than yours. Yeah. He can go over here and like me and his dad don't have a relationship. Basically because when him and my wife they dated, the relationship was coming to an end. At that point, we began to know each other. We were friends or whatnot. We were hanging out, and he looked at me as a guy who was separating his family, breaking up his family and whatnot. Yeah. And I had no intention of doing that. I was like, hey, if y'all working it out, I'll move out the way, you know. But my wife had no desire to work it out, you know. He wanted to. But even then, I still kind of, you know, played it cool. I didn't want to jump right into the middle of something that was, still lingering or whatnot. But me and him have never spoken. Me and my wife been on and off probably about a long time, about 7, 8 years. Dating, being friends, dating other people, and we finally came back and got married. But we never said one word. I remember one time I was with my wife when we picked him up from the dad, and he was like, "Oh, you didn't tell me you were dating somebody?" In my mind, that's a little slick comment, almost like, "Hey, yeah, he don't know," you know what I'm saying? Right. Or what I'm saying? He just trying to throw little mind games out. I'm just looking at bro like, okay. So he ain't speak to me, I ain't speak to him, you know. Eventually I feel like I'm gonna be the bigger man and initiate a conversation. Like you saying, like I'm around your son. Regardless of how we feel about each other, I want you to know that your son is in a place where he's gonna be taken care of. Yeah. He's not no harm or danger or nothing like that. And they go out there, they give him whatever you want. He just, here you go, have this, have that. So he has just a great time at daddy's house to give him whatever you want. Yeah. He come back to my house, I'm like, nah. And it's not because I don't want to do things for him, because I love doing things for him, but I have to give that balance because when you got your son for a couple of days, what you're going to do is try to make it the best couple of days possible. Yeah. So they get into that state of euphoria where they think this is how life really works. Mm-hmm. And I got to come back down, but now I'm the killjoy. Mm-hmm. So not only am I not your dad or your mom, I'm the one who's killing your false sense of reality.
Yeah. Saying no.
Exactly. So now I'm the outsider. But the good thing about it, my wife does affirm me when I do say certain things. She backs me up. And that's big because if you don't get the affirmation from the wife, you really look like the guy who was really in the middle of some stuff that you don't need to be there. Yeah. Right. So I really appreciate her supporting me and standing behind those things. Because I'll tell her, I'll be like, man, when little man said that, that kind of, hit me a little bit, I know he a kid, so I can't just spaz out on him, but sometimes I might have to go take a ride and just cool down, or just kind of gather my thoughts, because I'm trying to be two things that I never really understood how to be, which is a husband and a father. I didn't really have a picture of neither one of those. Right. And then I'm a stepfather. Yeah. On top of that, so it's a certain, like you said, it's a certain attachment that a kid is going to have with their biological parent. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to be a father for someone I'm not their biological parent, and I'm trying to be a husband at the same time. I'm trying to balance those out. So my day is very interesting.
We in the same boat, man. Jayla's going to get older. She's going to be in her 20s or her 30s. And this woman is going to have to get married. And she's going to have to decide who's going to walk her down that aisle.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just experienced part 2 of Steps to Fatherhood. We are breaking down some walls here, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you all have been enjoying what we've been sharing. More on the way. Trust and believe, okay? Part 3 coming soon. I know y'all can't wait. So subscribe, and you'll be catching up with us real soon, okay? All right, family, y'all have a blessed one. Take care. Hey, yo, Swag. Kevo in the building, right? Making sure that everybody hear me. Everybody listen real clearly. Why? I'm the man in the building. I'm so guilty, I'm so filthy, but God, yeah. Can you hear me? You always really been there with me. Every second and every minute, but